So what's going on, y'all? I know the hair is driving me nuts, but in this segment, we're going to go over your ICD-10. Okay, we have been going over ICD-10 for a minute, and we're going to continue to go over it for a minute. Okay, so let me just turn this down. Okay, so those of you who do have your book, just remember we are going over the guidelines. So I really wanted to delay this one and put it a little further back, but I don't know. Y'all know I'm on the new one, and it's definitely some issues. Now, don't go looking at my hair, cause I ain't gonna spend too much time on it. Okay. Yeah, I know my daughter's trying something new, and it's just not working. So, what we're going to do is just kind of go over those guidelines. Now, because I don't have this one set to how I want it, um, I have my ICD 10 book, and it's just to kind of show you um, where those guidelines are. But I'm sure you already have your book, and you know what we're going to be looking at. Yeah, don't worry. Next time out here, be careful. Um, I'm gonna pull this, and one of the things I want to show you. This is an old book because I generally use ebooks now, but you guys remember when I told you all about this, the tabbing. Um, this book is tabbed, and these tabs are actually in my bookstore. And this is why I don't use the physical books, because look how this for me is too heavy for me. When I'm teaching and I'm online, and you guys can't particularly see what I'm doing. Okay, so again, and because I can't show you my book on here, these are the illustrations that we were talking about, and this is how you tab your book. So I wanted to make sure that you guys were able to see that, and how you're going to tab your book. Okay, I have another screen open over there for my other students. So I have you guys here, and I have them there. They're actually on a different line. So hold on 1 second. Let me just fix that. Yeah, we can leave them on that screen, and then we can go ahead and do the other screen. Um, okay, so that wasn't much better, but we have to make sure we got that team straight over there. So again, that book that I just showed you guys, that is the book that we did tab for you. Okay, there you go. That's the book that we did tab. This segment is your continuation from what we were doing the other day. Um, and I think this will be it. Okay, I think this is it for the guidelines, because you guys have to work in your step-by-step book. Now, We were working on C, Chapter C, specific coding guidelines. And again, you can use whatever book you want to use, okay? But I prefer you to use either the AAPC or AMA. And again, you can go to the bookstore and you can find those books. I don't know, we having some kind of Indian summer here or something, because it is hot. Do you hear me? It is hot. Okay, so I have that there. I'll put the website there so you can go on and you can also look at the books. Now, on the website, the coding books are also there, so make sure you guys check those books out. Okay, originally I intended to delay this class to 10 because I know I wasn't ready, but I didn't want to delay it too long because I know you guys were looking for this. Your normal class is at 6 o'clock, but I have to do it early. Okay, so I may have to change it. Okay, so 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock is when I'll have to be doing them, so don't worry about it. I will get this class done, trust me. Y'all see how I look when I popped up on here. It's not just me, all educators, we have a passion for what we do, and no matter what, we will get it done. All right, so I had this book, and it's ironic because I didn't even know I was going to use it. When I was leaving Georgia, I said, well, let me throw this in the car in case I needed it. So again, this is how you're going to tab your book. It's old, I don't even use these books anymore. I use ebooks, but I still wanted to show you how you tab this book. Okay, and this was a book that I demonstrated in class, and now I pretty much use it just to kind of show you guys. The CPT book is the same way. Now, in my bookstore, I have tab that's already named, already have the chapters on there. But I want you to see this part right here, because what we're going over right now is some of that's going to be on your test. So you see in the front where you see all these guidelines, and I know you can't really see this. You guys don't always use my book, but this is part of your CPC exam. They're going to want to know where these things are. And when you put your tabs in here, C1, C2, Section 3, Section 2, boom, you're going to jump at it really quickly. And because you have 2 minutes for each question, you jumping right to where you need to go should get you to your answer. Okay, so that's the reason why we're going over the guidelines. So I'm hoping that some of you do have your book. If you don't, go to my bookstore and your book is in there. I'm also going to put up that chat that we did about, where is it? The chat that we did about AAPC, in case some of you are not aware of the AAPC unit. We have over 250,000 people there, and I want you guys to get an insight on what AAPC is. I'm going to put the website up in a minute. That is where you're going to be taking your exam. Okay, that's where you're going to be taking your exam. And you can go on there and look at, what's going to be on the exam. But that YouTube that I just put up there, that one is the chat that we went over, okay? So you can take a look at, aapc.com and generally just kind of see what's on there, see what they have to offer. I have a couple of other videos that I'm going to put up there. So in this class, we were going over chapter specific coding C, and it was basically giving you a broader description of the chapters, right? So because in your step-by-step book, there's a question there that asks what order does your book go in. These are the chapters, then you have the sections, then you have the category, the subcategory, and then the subclassification. I know I'm moving forward, but you're going to see that in your step-by-step book. Again, we're still in the guidelines. I'm on chapter specific in the detail section. My page is chapter 10. If you have your book, your page might be 8 or 9. Okay. I'm looking at D. So if I go to C, period 1, period D. Okay, that's where I'm at. a symptomatic human immunodeficiency virus. And here it's literally telling you how they want you to code this virus. Z21, a symptomatic human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, that's HIV. And it's telling you what you can't use the code with. Okay, so I can't really like express it as long as I want to. But you guys can always get to Sapphire coding and look in there, and then we can kind of expand. You'll see how we expanded on it because the docs are there and the notes are also there. But I'm telling you this so that you can see in the guidelines how it is, how it's choreographed in a way where when you learn, you're able to put it on your index cards. Yes, go to the bookstore, you'll see the index cards. I have color in there and then I have blank in there as well. In your guidelines, when you make your flashcards, you're literally just looking at the flashcards to help you retain with what you need to do. So, that's the goal for this class, okay? I'm also going to open your step-by-step book because that's what you're going to be working on. So last night, you guys should have been working on that. Let me just get in there. You guys should have been working on your step-by-step book with those guidelines, because pretty much it's not that much to do once you finish your guidelines. But I don't like to move on from the guidelines unless I feel comfortable with. This is Sapphire students. YTU, you guys are pretty much working on your own. They work on their own too, but they have the capability of accessing me if they need to, and they can access the Sapphire Academy. So if something is wrong, I am expecting them to contact me and let me know. When I'm in the Sapphire Academy, there's a green check in there. That check is green when I'm in there. Okay, so I have the step-by-step book open, and you guys know that step-by-step book is combined with the ICD-10. When we're working on the ICD-10, you guys should have that book open as well. Okay, so again, in your step-by-step book, you're generally doing the same type of reading. It is just more in depth. It's more in depth. So remember, on this software, you guys can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm expecting you guys to have your book open. So I'm on page 26 in the step-by-step. In the step-by-step book, it is the same introduction that you had already, okay, that you had previously that we've already done. The difference in the step-by-step book is it is a teaching manual. It is teaching you literally the concepts of the coding. So that's why you must have this step-by-step book as well, okay? And even though it has, who is World Health Education, ICD-10 PCS, it does have in-depth reading to show you the differences of the codes and what you should use. Okay, facilitate, for example, facilitating payment of health services, evaluate patients' use of healthcare facilities. Okay, research the quality of healthcare. You see all this extra stuff that they have in the step-by-step book. It's just giving you more insight of what you're getting ready to get into. Because again, you guys know this is a beginner class. We go from the beginning. We go from people who have never coded before, and we start from ICD-10. So in the step-by-step book, it's like your backup book to learning. But the first thing that you're going to do is to read your guidelines in your ICD-10 or your CMS 2025 guidelines, because it starts getting you the feel of what you're going to do. And once you start mastering the ICD-10, now you're in coding mode. Now you're in, okay, this looks like something that I want to do. This looks like something that I want to continue doing. So we've already been in the guidelines for at least 3 or 4 days. And the purpose of me staying in the guidelines is to make sure that now you're starting to be conditioned. Now you're starting to be conditioned as far as getting used to those guidelines. It's just like when you ride a bike. If you don't know how to ride a bike, you get on the bike, you fall down. You get on the bike, you fall down. 3rd day, you ride it, you fall down again. By the 5th day, you ride it. You've conditioned yourself, right, to know how to ride a bike. So the more you read these guidelines, that's how you condition yourself to learn how to code. Now, after this class, I will figure out how to get that background up there because I know I can. I know it's done because Les showed me how to do it, and I've been busy since 6 o'clock this morning, so I know you guys are like, Miss Lambert, shouldn't you be ready by 9? I'm doing things at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I got delayed. So tomorrow's class, I'm telling you, we're gonna have it up there, but at this part that we're talking about, I'm just letting you know that the guidelines are so important. And yes, you're going to stumble. Yes, you're going to be like, I'm not reading this anymore. I'm not. That's when you stop and then you start again. When you get used to the guidelines, that's your start. That's your mind is conditioning you into coding mode. If you're not clear on those guidelines, then you have to go back. You guys see how I coded that book. The book has to be tabbed like that so that you can flick through it really quickly. No, you don't buy it like that because it's not bought to for testing. For testing purposes, you're going to put it, look, just like that. I think I have a chat in there that has it. I did. I think I put it up there. I put it up there, and it might be down below. How you guys are going to tab your book. There will be questions on the guidelines, so that's why we must have the questions in there. We must have the guidelines read like 3 or 4 times. So again, in the step-by-step book, we're not doing reimbursement. Reimbursement we will do with the billing. That's in your billing. Okay, we are on the coding. So in your first chapter, the exercises you should have done at least last night because I know you guys already finished reading on your guidelines because that's what we went over yesterday. Remember? Okay, and they're saying answer these questions without the use of the reference material. Your reference material is your ICD-10 book. That's what they're talking about. That's what the reference material is. So if you don't have your step-by-step book, go to the bookstore and everything is in there. You still can also go to Elsevier. You still can also go to straight to Amazon. Okay. Sometimes, like I said, 3 o'clock in the morning, Amazon may have this thing have sales. So again, in your step-by-step book, your next task will be ICD-10-CM. Manuals vary considerably depending on the publisher. They're talking about the ICD-10 books, AAPC, book, AMA. That's what they're talking about. But just make sure that you are good with section C. Okay, I'm not going to say section because on your test you're going to have it's going to say what order is the ICD-10 book in, and the first is chapter. Okay, it's chapter specific. Let me see what section. Let me go back to section so you can see because there is 4 or 5 sections in here. So the questions are saying they want you to answer the questions without going back. So you're in section 1, right? Because that's going to be on the test. You're in section 1, so section is first, right? The next one, because C is what? It's chapter, right? So when you get to that question, you're going to say section, chapter, category, because category is 3. We ain't get that bump yet, but B20 is 3. So there's 3 alpha, so that's 3 as in category 3. Okay, so if I say B20.1, that's 4. Okay, that's going to be a subcategory because it's more. When you get to 5 digits, it's going to be subclassification because now I'm classifying the subcategory. I know I don't know if I sound like ebonics or not, but as we get on, you guys are going to be clear on what I'm saying. Okay, so again, the chapter specific coding guidelines are very important, and that's what we are reading. So today is pretty much Monday. We're going to take out the week, closing out of the guidelines, and then we are going to move on. Reading these guidelines, I want you guys to be clear that if you don't have it, if you feel like I'm overwhelmed with it, you have to stop. And then you're going to break up your reading. break up your reading. Do a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you come back. Okay, because if you get overwhelming with the guidelines, you're not going to remember them. So I want you to make sure that you remember your guidelines. This segment is now 9:38. I know I started this one a little late, but this is going to continue on. So I'll probably do a 15-minute, and then we're going to come back. And that's one of the things why I like this streamer better, because I can do a 15 minutes break, and then I can come back in. I can run this streamer for like 8 hours. So and we are in the process of seeing how I can extend this class longer, and I can put these breaks in there. So we're going to get it together. We're going to get it together. But this is going to be a long class. It's probably going to be the 2 hours, because I might kind of flip-flop through. Maybe Laz can show me quickly how to put this book up here so I can show y'all where I'm at. So we are in the guidelines. We're still in the guidelines, and we're on chapter specific. And yesterday we left off with chapters. Remember, so if you get that question, section, then chapters. We are in chapter specific coding, and the first chapter is certain infectious and parasitic diseases. Right? So if you got your book, that book is so heavy, I'm not reaching for it again. My book is right here. I'm just going to open up 2 screens and have both sides open. If you have your book, go to chapter 1, certain infectious and parasitic diseases, and you're going to see the first code there, A00. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to go through that. I'm gonna put another book up so I can see. I want to stay in the beginning, but I also want to see that pushing it. All right, so I'll give you guys a few minutes, and even though we're doing it, I still want you guys to kind of go through it. And again, when we're in the classroom, when we're online, you still should have both books open. Okay, so don't forget, I said you guys need to make a space. I don't care if you have to go to Home Depot and get 2 sticks. Make your desk. Okay, make your desk so you're comfortable doing your work. So yeah, so you guys go ahead and look for that code. I'm gonna give you 1 more minute, and then I'm gonna backtrack back. All right. So you're going through the alphabetic index. Okay. Why, Ms. Lambert? Because the alphabetic index is first. Okay. And the alphabetic index, which should be a dead giveaway. In the alphabetic index, you're looking for terms. You're looking for words. Let me get this thing up. In the alphabetic index, you're looking for systems, body systems, words, leg, arm, ankle, stomach, chronic, shoot. That's what you're looking for, words, out for words. That's the index. In the tabular list, you are looking for the numeric numbers. That's what we're getting ready to do right now. So 1, 2, 3, B20, digits. B20, I'm talking in digits right now. I'm talking in tabular digits. Is the category. So this is the category that you're getting ready to look for. Next time I'll make sure I have a big marker so y'all can see. Your category is what you're looking for, right? I haven't given you one yet. I'm just letting you know, when you see 3 digits, that's the category. Okay, you remember when I said subcategory, subclass? That's we're rerunning more. So you're expanding what's wrong with the patient. But for right now, I want you to start getting a feel of looking in your book. So I'll have my book open. So you guys are still looking for that. Tisha, you all ready? All right. So hold on. We still waiting for Maureen. All right. So I'm gonna wait for Maureen, and then we're gonna move on. Okay. Good. So certain infectious and parasitic diseases. As soon as you open your book, that's going to be your first chapter. That's going to be your first chapter. Okay. It says ICD-10-CM index to diseases and injury, right? And basically, it's words like abdomen, leg, breast, right? That's pretty much your chapter. Now, if you go back to your tabular list, now I'm not sure which book you guys have, um, depending on what book you have. Yours may be in the front, yours may be in the back. But that's what we're looking for. Okay? Now when you get there, I want you to go get that code. Okay. A00. Alright, so I'm in mine. Okay. I'm trying to figure out. You know what? I should have put it on. I could have put it on my iPad. Did my iPad, then I can kind of show you what I'm looking at. But again, you should be at chapter 1, infectious and parasitic diseases. Okay. Now, my book is going to be different from yours. Okay. So my diseases and injuries is in the back. Okay, yours is probably in the front. Okay, so where I'm at right now, there's a whole lot of information, much more than what's in your guidelines. Because at the beginning of each chapter, there are guidelines. There are guidelines, okay? In your guidelines at the beginning of your book, you also have guidelines there. And it is the same as what's here. It's just not as much, okay? It's just not as much. So yesterday we were talking about MRSA. Make sure you get that down. Methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Okay, make sure you get that down. I just threw that in because I saw it. Okay, so in my book, it's giving me chapter 7, but it's chapter 1. You see, it's part 3. It's in my part 3 of my book. Okay, in my book, it's backwards. And that depends on which book you have. Even though I have my AAPC book right here, I don't know which book you guys have. And let me see. Make sure you guys in the right place. See, in my book, it's an index to diseases. In the APC book, but they got it vice versa. So hold on, maybe you guys got this one. Okay, so all right, so that's the index to diseases. I don't want the index to diseases. Remember I said in the index to diseases, those are the names. The names are there, right? But I don't want that. I want to go to chapter 1. So in the AAPC book, it's in the back. Let me see where it start. What page is start? So I'm in the AAPC. AAPC, your diseases and injury, name, stomach, XYZ. You talking about let's see. Okay, so it's on page 453. 453. All right, so 453, y'all. Now, if the book version is a little bit different. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and move to this one. So I'm on chapter 1, right? Don't forget, it's in the back. Chapter 1, certain infectious and parasitic diseases. So remember I said in the back, in the tabular list, that's the alpha back there. So it says the same thing that's in the front. That's why I said, for your training purposes, you don't need to get a brand new book. This book is fine. And I just happen to have this one. The rest of them I gave them to like the Goodwill or something like that. Next time I'm not gonna do that. So certain infectious and parasitic diseases, A00 to B99. And as you guys can see, the codes go in alphabetical order. So if you have A00 and you see the dash is to 809. So whatever is in that 809 range, it is included in that code. Okay, so in the guidelines, there's a short version. Okay, let me see. You know, it ain't all that short, but they got most of it. Most of it look like it's in here. But in the first part, in the beginning of your guidelines, in your guidelines, 1 period C. So 1 period C 2. No, we on one. Okay, 1 period C.1. Chapter 1, certain infectious and parasitic diseases. So remember we were talking about, I'm trying to get y'all used to 3 code. 3 code. Okay, 3 codes is category. So A00 to A09, this chapter contains the following blocks. This is where I'm at. I'm in the back, right? Remember I told you go to chapter 1. Okay? And that's the type of list. It should be a page in there. There used to be a split page in here. So you guys are in the tabular list, okay? Go to A000. Intestinal infectious diseases. So this group is from A00 to A09. Your 3 digits, right, is your category. Your 3 digits is your category. So A00 is your category. And you guys see down here where it has a 4th digit. It doesn't have, it has a 4th digit, but there's a number 4 there that's circled and it's in red. It means that you need another digit. That 4th digit is your sub-classification, which is all in your guidelines. We're just kind of going over it, okay? So that's your sub-classification. So A009 is career, unspecified, okay? Because remember, it said from A00 to A09, right? And it only goes up to, from category, what is that? Category to subcategory, right? And we're gonna stop at the second one, because I see where it has a 5th digit. Your 5th digit is what? Sub-classification, okay? So when you see that 5th, that means you need another one. But you already read that, so I don't have to really go over that too much with you. But when we break and come back, I'm gonna see if I can get it up there for you. So in your tabular list, that's where I want you to start looking at those codes, okay? A to A9, just so you can get a kind of feel of some of these codes, okay? And it's going to be chapter 1. So your tabular list, right? Your tabular list is where you're going to start looking at those codes, okay? Now it depends on which version you have, okay? If you don't have either one of those versions, go to the bookstore and you can get the version. Let me see if I gave you guys, I think I have it up already anyway. CPT, okay, let me see. ICD-10. So we know that this probably doesn't go all the way up to the tabular list. This book ends ICD-10 official faculty store. Yeah, so this is pretty much has the indexes in here. I'm just kind of scrolling to see. Yeah, so you guys remember I said the words is your index. Yeah, so even though you can still use the Kindle for your beginning, it's not going to work for the ending. All right, because what I need for you guys to see is not in there. So you do need to get your book. What I need you to see is not in there. But chapter 1 is in the tabular list. Okay, chapter 1 is in your tabular list. Anytime you're looking for a code in your index to diseases, you have to check it in the tabular list to make sure that it is complicit. So if you're looking for stomach burn 3rd degree, or burn, where's the category? Burn, where's the subcategory? Where in my stomach? Subclassification. How bad is it? It's a 3rd degree. So you go burn stomach, third degree. You find whatever code you find right there, go in the back of your tabular list and look for that code. You already know it's in burn, so it is an external diseases. It was an accident, right? You remember I was telling y'all it was an accident? Good, good, good. That's what I'm talking about. When you guys come back at me like that, I'll know. I know you got it, okay? I know you got it when you come back at me like that. So I'm still gonna put this book in there, even though it's not giving us everything we want. Um, I put this one in here too. I don't know why I didn't put the other one in here. Let's put this book in here. Y'all know I always put this book up to just kind of make sure you guys got it. Even though it doesn't have everything that we want, I still need to put the book up there. Okay. So, but anytime you guys have any questions, let me know. And again, we're going to be in the tabular list for a minute. And again, this is you getting used to your coding book. All right. I didn't get the links to, I'm gonna put this one in here too. I didn't get the links to the step-by-step book, because it just primarily had stuff that's in the front that, that really didn't help us. You guys do need to get your book. The good part about this is you just have to take your time in doing it, and you're not spending $20,000. I'm telling you, the same class that I taught, okay, I taught the same thing. I bet it wasn't even as good as my class. Trust me, it wasn't as good as this. And it was, I don't know, it was about $20,000. Just like how you go and you take your time, in a classroom. That's how I want you guys to do. Just take your time. Don't overwhelm yourself, because there's so much for you to learn in this portion. And the CPT portion, when we get up to it, it's a lot more information that you need to know in there. Okay, so somebody asked me for the ISBN. Okay, so here's the ISBN. I'm gonna put that up there. The ISBN for the ICD-10, in case you want to get an old one. There it is right there. That's the ISBN for the ICD-10. Since we're in there, I'm also put the rest of them up. So hold on, y'all. Let's go ahead and get that ISBN up there. All right, so this one is for the CPT. Okay, so in case you want to go ahead and get your book, that's other than my website or wherever, you can go ahead and get it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the other one up there too. We have not gotten up to this one, but we soon will be. And at least this gives you a chance to go ahead and get your book. You don't have to get all the books at one time. We're in ICD-10, so make sure you have your ICD-10 and your step-by-step workbook, and the other one. Okay. So again, we are in the chapter 1, certain infectious and parasitic diseases. So again, when you get your test, sections is first. Okay, go down to D, septic, severe septis, and septic shock. Okay, coding of septis and severe septis. Now it clearly tells you coding, which in your mind, okay, so ICD-10 is getting ready to show me how to code this. I'm not making up how you're going to code something. They literally tell us how to code. Okay, for a diagnosis of sepsis, assign the appropriate code for the underlying systemic infection. The underlying systemic infection. If the type of infection or causal organism is not further specified, assign a code A41.9, sepsis unspecified organism. Now, I'm going to break it down in the beginning. For a diagnosis of sepsis, assign the appropriate code for the underlying systemic infection. What caused the sepsis? When you see a sentence like that, you have to know how to decipher. You have to look through that sentence. I'm going to read it again because you're going to see that all throughout. For a diagnosis of sepsis. I must flip that. In order for you to choose this code for sepsis, justify why you need to use this code. Listen, assign the appropriate code for the underlying systemic infection. Underlining. These are kind of terms we're going to look at. Remember, we're talking about medical terms. We're talking surgical talk. We're talking billing talk. We're talking coding talk. So y'all are going to hear terms that you have not heard in a physical conversation with you talking to somebody. You understand what I'm saying? So if you hear somebody say underlining, okay, so what else? So what caused that? What was the primary diagnosis that caused the sepsis? And then you need to make sure you know what sepsis is. Sepsis is pretty much a blood disease, a blood disorder. What causes the infection? You're not able to fight off anything. So if you cannot decipher some of these words, this is where your language or terminology comes in. Hit the search engine. Okay? So this is what they're telling you. Okay? If the type of infection or casual organism, okay, is not further specified, if the cause is not known, you see what I'm saying? They use words that is not in your normal sentence of vocabulary. Now you're going into medical school. This is how they talk. You're going into medical school. Okay. Assign code A41. A41 is 3 digits. Define those 3 digits. Category. The category is A41. And I'm only stopping right here. Because now, let me move this. I want you to go to A41. So can you guys go find A41? Okay, go find A41. Yeah, all you gotta do is scroll down. Because you're in the same category. Scroll down, you're in the same category. Because remember, we're in infectious diseases, right? So keep scrolling down. Remember, it's in alphabetical order or numerical order. So you say 17, 18, 17, 18, right? You keep scrolling down. Keep going down in your book. So you see all those codes. This is how you get in the feel. Of your book. Keep going down because you're looking for the code A41. I see A24, A25. Remember, it's in numeric form. It's a numeric form. And we're just doing this just so you can kind of get used to looking for something in your book, and you can see how the codes are in numeric form. The code in numeric form does not mean it's getting more evasive, because the codes are totally different. All right. So I'm at A41. It's just other sepsis. Now, there's a stop sign there. Remember when we did the guidelines and we talked about those conventions and what that stop sign is? If you forgot, go back to, if you forgot what that stop sign is, do not go further. Don't go further. Because I'm with you. I'm going with you too. Look, if you don't remember, I want you to go back to the guideline, because more than likely it should be at the bottom of your book. I don't know which book you have, but it used to be at the bottom of the book. Why not? Yeah, it is. Okay, so let me see. I don't know what kind of book you have, but let me show you this. This is how you got to get to know your book. And it's not at the bottom of mine. It might be the one you got. You see the bottom of my book, and you see those conventions down there? When you forget, when you're taking your test and you can't go scrolling all the way back to the front, the bottom of your book should have a stop sign and tell you what it is. It should have what a 5th digit is. We need an extra one. What an A is. What M, maternal, what pediatric is. Now I'm looking for the stop sign that should be down here. I do not see it on my pages, but I'm pretty sure it's down here on the pages. But if you get stuck and you got something and AAPC says, what does the stop sign mean? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what it means. You stop, don't go no further, you need another code. But I want you to see where when we went to the guidelines, okay? Go back, cause I can't even show you. I'm gonna get that together soon. But go back to your conventions, and in your conventions, it's going to show you. And see how my book is, because this book is already tabbed. I shouldn't have to be looking to find no conventions. All I have to do is go to where that tab is. Right? I'm gonna show you a quick way because this book is tabbed, and Lord knows I should have kept the other one because I ain't tabbing it. I'll keep it 1955. I ain't tabbing it again. So section 1A, conventions. That's what I got in here. That's how I was able to get to the conventions real quick. Okay, but I'm just saying that to say that's what you're gonna need to do to find your conventions real quick, so I can tell you what that stop sign is. But I don't want you to have to do that unless you mark your book. But anyway, since I already told you what your stop sign is, but that's how you go back and find it. All right, so y'all already found A41 of the septus, okay, and we already know that it's another code. Okay, we already know. And code first, you remember we were talking about code first? Code first is A41, nothing else. A41 has to be your first 3 digits, right? So we know that there was a subclassification code on that. So we already know that there's going to be an additional code to it. But A41 as in other septus. And you guys see excludes one. We're not going to go to that because that's going to be moving too quick. And you guys see underneath that code, right? It says excludes 1, and then it says excludes 2. I'm just kind of going to that for a minute. And we went over that in our guidelines, but I'm just kind of give you a heads up of how many times you're going to see it in your book. You're going to see that. And that's why it's so important to do your guideline, because you won't be able to decipher the coding. You won't be able to decipher the coding without that. And as you can see, everything is in. You're talking about from tuberculosis to AIDS to whatever infectious disease that you guys have heard of. This is how it is coded through the ICD-10. This is how they find out how many people have tuberculosis, how many people have, XYZ, right? So, that's why I have to stay on the guidelines for a minute. We already found the A41 in category. I just want to get y'all kind of used to going through the book. So if you guys are having trouble, like going through some of these pages or finding some of these codes, or I don't think you have any trouble finding it. If you could stay in your guidelines and stay on chapter 1 for a minute, I think you will understand. Looking through the book is the only way that you are going to learn how to do the coding. Okay. We're going to take a break, and we're going to take a break in a little bit, and I'm going to try to figure out how I can get y'all to see this, because this class is really generally over. I'm just kind of extending it a little bit. So again, we're on chapter 1, certain infectious and parasitic diseases. Now, I still want you guys to go to that A41, okay? Go to that A41, that's your category, okay? The stop sign, go see what the stop sign is. We already talked about the stop sign, but I want y'all to see it in your guidelines, okay? I'm gonna jump up to conventions and symbols. Okay, so I have the books. I'm pretty sure y'all, because this is like the teaching version books. I'm sure y'all don't have this one, but it's the same thing. So it says use additional character. Even though I already told y'all what it means, but I'm telling y'all again. I'm showing y'all in the index. So go to your index, right? Go to your symbols and conventions. And here's the stop sign. So it says the red stop sign cautions you that the code requires additional characters to ensure greater specificity. Now, specificity means further definition, further description. Okay? So The red stop sign cautions you that the code requires additional. Now, there's rarely codes that you might see that has just the category codes. Remember, just the category codes is K22. That's it. Most codes have four digits, as in what? K22 as in the category, the subcategory you are specifying. Okay, and remember, you have to use an X placeholder if it requires a seventh digit. Okay, so I'm just going over the placeholder real quick. Placeholder, the red X, if you see a red X, reminds you that for codes less than 6 characters that require a seventh character, a placeholder X should be assigned to all characters less than 6. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 code subclassification, and I don't have a third digit or a fourth digit to classify it, I have to have the seventh. You have to put an X here. Okay, we're gonna go through that further down. But I just want to give you the heads up on that because we're already in the symbols anyway. So we were just going back to make sure what we know what a stop sign is. But so we're already 10:09 in, so it should be an hour in. We're gonna take a 15-minute break, and I'm gonna come right back. But look for the A41. When you get to the A41, I want you to look at those codes that are down in the A41. We are in chapter 1. Okay, we're on chapter 1, infectious diseases. And chapter 1, infectious diseases, and your book is probably in the back section. Okay, it's probably in the back section. Look for your tabular list. And then as we go through this, we're getting towards the coding portion. Okay, we're getting to it, not the step by step. We're getting towards the coding portion. Okay, so the step by step we're going to do later on. That's your homework. The workbook is strictly exercises. Okay, the workbook is strictly exercises. But I got a lot of emails from y'all getting a little bit stuck with this, so we're gonna hit this for another hour or so, and just get you to feel. So if you guys got your book, for your just look through it. Keep paging. Maybe my hair will look better when I come back in the week. We'll be all right. But make sure you have your books. I think the most text that y'all are texting me, y'all having trouble with the 3 digits. But the 3 digits are category codes. The category is what's wrong with the patient initially. Okay? Initially. I'm saying initially because I don't want you to get confused with the further classification. Okay? So, let me just get the other book. All right, so I'm going back to infectious diseases. All right, I'm out of conventions. Okay? And you guys are going to look for that A41 code. Okay, let me get down, because remember, there are tons of information here. In order for you to start coding in chapter 1, you have to have read the guidelines. Get your highlighter. Get your highlighters and highlight what you think you need to highlight in this section. Okay? I'm on C. I'm on 1. So I do 1 decimal 1 decimal C. Whether the patient is newly diagnosed or has had a previous admission encounter for HIV conditions is irrelevant to the sequencing decision. We're talking about an encounter, okay? An encounter or an admission. An encounter is the patient coming to the doctor. Okay? Patient coming to the doctor. Okay? So, you guys can do that part. I want y'all to do that at home. We're going to jump to, what's the second one? The second one is, and they actually have the full description in the front of the guidelines. So, and remember, the second section is the same thing that we just did. You remember when we first came in and we start talking about the first chapters? It's the same thing. So I'm gonna hit this real quick. All right, so your index to diseases is giving you alpha, and then it's giving you numeric. When you get to the tabular list, that's when you're going to check your tabular list of disease and injury. Okay, we're going to go to. I want to go to this one. Let's go. When you come back, we're going to go to chapter 10. So we finished with the chapter 1, but that's what y'all are doing on your 15-minute break. So I'm leaving y'all alone for 15 minutes, and I'll be back. Chapter 4, endocrine, nutritional, and metabolic diseases. Okay, that's what we're going to be working on. Okay, so, and again, we're literally still in the guidelines. I just don't want to stay on the sepsis part and talking about, y'all can do that section at home. Okay, I don't want to elaborate too much on that section. So, when we come back, we're going to be on chapter 4. We're going to be on chapter 4. If you want to get a heads up and read your guidelines before that, or read your guidelines before that. But we're going to be back in a few minutes. Okay, we're going to be back in a few minutes. So I'm going to break. I'll see y'all in about 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. So we trying to get this off, y'all. I have no idea why it's not coming off. Give me a minute. Should be coming off. I don't know why. Yeah. All right. So even though we got that off, it should have came off without me having to do that. So you might have a blank screen. You're gonna jump right on in a second, and then I will show up in just a minute. Okay. So there I am. So we just want to kind of extend this one. I didn't want to have this short because we didn't get to finish the class from yesterday. Okay, so now you guys are going into your book, which is the same thing that we just got finished doing. You guys are actually looking for a code. So you're looking for a code. Okay, the A41 is what you're looking for. Okay, so I just put the volume back up. So the A41 is the one that you're looking for. Okay, and again, we were just merely going through the coding book. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the glasses again. We're merely going through the coding book and showing you how to kind of navigate through. So I'm just going to go back to my book. And you guys were at the A41. You guys can, look for anyone you want to. The main thing is that you're going to be looking through this book so that you can get used to what's in this book. Okay, so we're not going to have the chat go too long. I just wanted to kind of extend it because I know people were in the chat and we were here for, almost over an hour. So at some point, yeah, it's okay for you guys to take a break, walk away, and come back. Because I know you guys are going to archive this chat. Okay, so again, what we want to do is just try to make sure that you're on the right track. The guidelines we will continue to do so that you can get through all of the chapters. Okay, now when we're done, you should have looked through all of the chapters. The next one that I wanted you guys to go through was, I think it was 4, right, y'all? Let me get it. Yeah, so chapter 4, endocrine, and it's just so you guys can get used to going through the chapters. So the chapters are going to be in the tabular list. Okay, so chapter 4 is endocrine, nutritional, and metabolic diseases. Okay, metabolic diseases. Okay, EOO to E89. When I say O, I mean 0. Okay. So I know you guys probably know a lot of people with the diabetes mellitus. Okay, and in this section, it will tell you a lot about this type of disease, type of diabetes not documented, diabetes mellitus, the use of insulin, okay, hypoglycemics, diabetes mellitus in pregnancy, and again, this tells you, it gives you that information that you're looking for. I don't know what that is. Gives you information that you're looking for. And like I said, this is your go-to guide. This is your go-to book. Overdose of insulin due to insulin pump failure, secondary diabetes mellitus. It's going to entitle a lot of reading. Okay, and again, you guys remember I said you can turn on AI and have AI read it for you, or you can read it and you can record yourself just so you can continuously retain the information. Okay, secondary diabetes mellitus due to pancreatomy, that is definitely something to look at because you don't know what they're going to test. What's going to be on the test. To me, read the full guidelines and you will have a better understanding of the coding. I have a figure, I'm on page 685. They're just kind of showing you more what's in the endocrine glands, the pineal gland, pituitary gland, parathyroid gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, thymus gland, pancreas, ovaries, testes. This is what the guidelines is for. This is what the guidelines is for. Chapter 1 I do still want you to do chapter 1, but you can do chapter 1 on your own. Chapter 4, I just kind of skipped to chapter 4, so it's not so invasive, it's not so private, it's not so personal. In the diabetes mellitus section, we all know who have had, diabetes, and you just, even the, you just can't stop it. You can contain it from, taking over your life quickly, but eventually, as you age, as you get, the diabetic procedures done, and I can't even say it's on the tip of my tongue, but I want you guys to read about this. And in coding, you remember I used to say you literally got to be almost like a surgeon. You have to think like a provider. You have to learn like a provider. If coding is something that you want to do, it's not just a brief, oh, okay, we just billing and coding. Okay, billing. You're going to learn as you go, more than likely. You're going to learn as you go in billing. In coding, you have to know what you're doing. If it wasn't as invasive as it is, then they wouldn't have certification tests. They wouldn't have certification tests for this. So that's why we want to make sure that you pay attention and focus on this. The guidelines is so important because this is the only way you're going to learn how to code. They put it out here for you. One, you have to know about the chapter. I'm not even going to say chapter. You have to know about the disease. You have to know about the body system. Okay? What we are learning is about the diseases within the body system. Okay? Within the body system, not just chapter 4. There are 22 chapters in here, and each one of them we must go through. Okay? In the Sapphire Academy, you guys already have those notes in there for each one of these classes. This is the YTU. You guys have to do most of this on your own, but I'm putting you guys in the correct place. Okay? I want you to read all of the guidelines for the diabetes, and once you read all of that, then you're going to get to the disorders. The disorders, again, are going to start with EOO. So in my book, these are the guidelines, right? At the beginning of each chapter, you will see guidelines, and you will see the code range. So it's always going to have the category code. It's not going to have the sub classification or XYZ. You're going to add that on at the end when the more invasive the disease is. So in chapter 4, it says endocrine, nutritional, and metabolic, I can't even say it, diseases, E00. After you read your guidelines, right? Because this is an addition to the ones you read in the beginning of the book. So keep scrolling down. Now you're going to get to that first code. Remember the EOO, congenital iodine deficiency syndrome. You're going to see the stop sign. What does the stop sign mean? That you need another code. You need another code. Because we just went over that. Now, my purpose of being in here, because I want you to look through, just look at them. Read them, look at them, go through them. There's 1 million pages. Yeah, I expect you to go through 1 million pages. I want you to look at not only the code, look at the alpha in the code. Okay? The alpha in the code is congenital iodine. The code, the numeric code is E00.0. So you're looking at the numeric code. Remember, coding is turning alpha into numeric. Okay, basically numeric classification. Congenital iodine, alpha, E00.0, numeric. That is the numeric code. So I want you to look at all of them. Let me specify this before I keep going. EOO is what? It's a category. Good. E00.00, that last O is the subcategory. You could tell that by what it says. EOO is congenital iodine deficiency syndrome. Right? Congenital iodine deficiency syndrome. Now, look at the one that the subcategory was added on. The subcategory is the 4th digit. It says the exact same thing as the E00, but it's because it is more specified. Remember that word specificity? I know I can't say it. it's adding on more description. E00.0 subclassification added. Category plus subclassification as in the fourth code. Congenital iodine deficiency syndrome, same as code E00, right? This is the subcategory. Why, Ms. Lambert? Because it is adding on more description. Okay? Neurological type. And now it's telling you what the type is. Endemic, criticism, neurologic type. Okay? That's your subclassification right there. Okay? Now I'm looking at this because I'm looking at my book. You can't see it, but that's what I'm looking at. Okay? I'm gonna backtrack and show you guys where it says excludes one. Excludes one is you cannot use this code with that. Remember we went over that yesterday or the day before. Subclinical iodine deficiency hypothyroidism, E02, excludes one. Excludes one as in you cannot use E02 with EOO. All right, that's what it's telling you. You see that. When you see excludes one, you know that it means you're not going to use that code with that, okay? So again, this is a beginner class, so some of you who are a little bit more advanced and already past this stage, you're already here. This section is not for you unless you want to just kind of go over it. So again, this class is for new beginning coders, okay? And you guys are getting used to your guidelines book. Okay, it's 10:46 right now, but again, you guys are in the same place, okay? Item 4, I expect you to go over that. E01, just like I said, just keep going down. And you remember, the more codes you see, more codes and more numbers, more numeric numbers, the deeper the description of the code. Okay, it deeper specifies the code. If you see excludes one and you forgot, go back to your guidelines. Go back to your guidelines and read what excludes one does or what it is. And I strongly recommend you do that. Anytime you come to something, but I'm not fixing the glasses. I don't care. I don't care right now. Anytime, I don't know why they're like that. Anytime you come to, forget about coding, anything. Anytime you come to something that you cannot decipher or you do not understand, stop. Do not move forward. Go find out what it means. Okay? Go find out what it means. Let me see if these are the same way. Go find out what it means. Okay? Nah, these are a little better, but of course I can't hardly see these. I must have stepped on my glasses or something. I have to put some. So, anytime you find something, or anytime you're reading something, no matter what it is, and you do not understand what a word means or what a terminology means, you have to stop right there. Go find out what it means. Get your index cards, go to my bookstore, go in the index cards, and you can find what you need. Get an index card, write down the word, and put the definition there. It ain't gonna work if you don't know those definitions. If you're reading something and you can't decipher what it means, you're not gonna understand it. I can't see what these are. These other ones. You're not gonna understand the word. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why I need to make sure that you're clear with these guidelines. So we're in chapter 4, but what you're doing for homework, because what's today, Monday, your next class is not all the way till Friday. Alright, so you should be able to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, you should be able to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then in your step-by-step book, now you should be able to do your first test in there. You should be able to go over your first few pages up to page 40. Okay, it's telling you what's in here. I want you to read the whole thing. Your tabular list is telling you about the tabular list. After referencing the alphabetic index, Remember what I said, you're going to look for your main category, your words in the alphabetic index, and then you're going to check it in your tabular list by numbers. In your step-by-step book, it's more explicit. It's more explaining what I just said. So in your step-by-step book, it says, after referencing the alphabetic index, you will locate the codes identified in the tabular list. That's your chapters. So if you've looked up an alpha in endocrine 4 in the endocrine system, you know that you're going to the endocrine system to find that numeric number, right? To find that code. Okay. You can never code directly from the index. She's saying when you find your code, you can't just choose to code from there. You need to verify the code in your tabular list, right? That's what she's saying, okay? The tabular list is the listing of all the codes available for assignment, including their description. That's why I want you to go page by page, page by page, page by page, okay? When the exact word is not found in the code description in the tabular list, but the descriptive word is found in the alphabetic index, you must trust the code provided in the alphabetic index. So if it is not described in the tabular list, if you just cannot find it, you have to go with what's in the index, okay? To be correct, because the index contains descriptive words that the tabular does not. You guys understand what I'm saying when I say that? The index contains descriptive words that the tabular does not. So maybe there are times when you are not going to find the same description as in the index, but you're going to find it in the index. Just go with the index. That's what she's telling you. So I'm in a step-by-step book. This is your homework. We're just kind of going over a little bit of it. I'm going to stop at 11 o'clock. Anything that can happen in the way of injury or disease to a human body has a code. Anything that can happen in the way of an injury or disease to a human body has a code in the tabular list. If something happened and a code is not there, you choose an unspecified code. Although there are certainly many things that can happen to us, the people who developed the ICD-10-CM not only included them all, but organized them in a systematic way. That's why I said if you see A17, you see A14, you see A15, you see A16, it's all in a categorized way. When you are taking your test, there's no fumbling around. You see codes are in order. They're in alphabetic order when you go to the back of your chapter list. Okay, so chapters in the main division in the ICD-10-CM manual. The 22 chapters of the tablet are arranged in numeric order after the first letter assigned to the chapter are as follows. So you guys already see that in here. They're just pretty much giving you the chapters in order. Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Chapter 1, certain infectious diseases. Neoplasm. 2, diseases of the blood. 3, endocrine. 4. Those are 4 that you're doing. So you guys should be doing. You should be reading 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the guidelines, and you're backing that up with your tabular list. Okay. So they're just kind of giving you all 22 chapters, 15 symptoms, signs and symptoms, codes for special use, 21 factors of influence. I'm on page 31. I'm not sure what page it is in your book. Okay, and again, what chapter is this? It should be chapter 1. Chapter 2. Okay, so chapter 2 in the step-by-step book in its entirety. Okay, you have to read it in its entirety. The ICD-10-CM begins with an A and continues through Z. Due to the complexity of some chapters in ICD-10-CM, a chapter may use more than one letter. Okay, example, neoplasms are all of the letter C and half of the letter D. Okay, so you know how I say COO, COO3, or COO.3. Most of the chapters have H to H. Neoplasm, there's C's and there's also D's. Okay, we haven't gotten up to that yet. They're just kind of explaining to you. Chapter 2 is so crucial. You have to make sure you get this down. Indicate the format of each chapter. And see, this is where it's telling you what the formats are. On your first coding exam that I give you, this is one there. So yeah, I give you a pre-coding exam. A pre-coding exam is about 150 questions. So my test is about 150 questions with coding and open and close. Okay. So here we are. Category block. A block is a group of 3 characters. Categories that represent a group. Now this is new with the block thing. We call it categories. It's the same thing. Category 3 is telling you that subcategory, 4 characters, subclassifications, everything that I mentioned before. It's all right here in the book. Okay, and it's going over again what we had in the guidelines. It's just going over it more in depth. This is your backup tool. Okay, giving you italicized, excludes one, and it's telling you. Remember I told you, if you see something that says excludes, it means that you can't use it with that. Okay, it's an excludes one and excludes two, which I don't know if it's either redundant or not, but if you can't, why they can't just say excludes and just be done? But it's because it's certain things that you can use and certain things you can't. So that's why they had to do excludes one and excludes two. Okay, so exercise 2 to 3. I'm not in the workbook. This is your reading for step by step. Okay. Exercise 2 to 3. Do that. The index of the 1 to 10. The main term is identified in the type space. That's fine. You just read that. Official instruction notations and the ICD-10. Yeah, same thing. So when you guys get up to this part, up to the conventions, because it's going to go through one by one. I'm on page 34. Official instructional notations in the ICD-10-CM. So you will have your step-by-step book open, and you will have your ICD-10 open as well, and you will reference both. In your step-by-step, I know I got 3 minutes. In your step-by-step book, you're going to first read the instructions, which you've done in the guidelines, but here it is more detailed. It's more detailed. Okay, so get your highlighter and you're going to start reading. Okay, so conventions first. The ICD-10-CM manual contains a list of conventions, okay, and definitions. Okay, now it's going to give you more of a detail than it did in the first guidelines, the guidelines of the book, because it's really giving you an overall, but here it's just giving you more of an insight. NEC is used in both the alphabetic and this entire list. It's more detailed. I'm just giving you the first hit, okay? NOS, the brackets, and it shows you the brackets, okay? It's giving you the definition more than what it gave you in the guidelines of the ICD-10. Your stop, because we're in conventions, right? Your stop, your colon, your and with. And with, make sure you get that precisely, okay? Although the two words and with, I know y'all, I used to do this on the board all the time. And with have similar meanings in everyday language. In ICD-10-CM terminologies, they have special significance and meaning. Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I want you guys to get that. But we're definitely going over that. Okay, we did that the other day, but I want you guys to go over it again. The and with. And with. Okay, so and you use this code and that code. Okay, with you use this code with that. Okay, so that as in subclassification or an additional diagnosis due to the primary. Okay, I know it sounds a little bit confusing. When you read this again, we're gonna go over that again anyway. Okay, so it becomes more nature to you when you hear these things. Here's an example right here. With the diabetes, entry in the index illustrates the use of with to direct the coder to the correct code and the sequence of the code for the condition that may be present with the diabetes. You hear how it says that may be present with the diabetes? So it is a disease that is with the diabetes, within the diabetes. Diabetes mellitus, sugar E11.9 with, go to that amyotrophy, go to that E11.44. When we finish, we got like a minute left, but I'm in a step-by-step book, and we are deciphering how to use and with. with is she has diabetes with XYZ. This is why she has this. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not just one disease. Okay, it's within that disease. Okay, like diabetes, you can have all types of issues with diabetes, but I'm not going to give you a specific one because I just need to make sure you're clear on the width. And yes, we are going to go back over that. I may do a class tonight. I have to go out. I got 10 minutes. I have to go out in about 12 minutes. So this class was merely like 2 hours. We did take a 15-minute break. But I'll try to bring it up again if we can do, maybe tomorrow. I'll do an extra class tomorrow. But make sure you get the end and the width. And here I'm on page 36 in the step-by-step book. I mean, they got a lot in here, and I think it's pretty good for you guys. Yeah, so I definitely want you to do that. And this is why I like the ebooks. I like the hard copy books too, but I like the ebooks because in the ebooks I can highlight on here. I can do everything on there. I can show you what I need to show you. Just this right now, I still love this program. No, I've not mastered it yet, but I still love this program. And it is shorting y'all a little bit because I can't show y'all what I want to show y'all. But you should have your step-by-step book anyway, okay? And we get ready to narrow down and just kind of start talking. You should have your step-by-step book anyway, and I think all of you guys who are in the classroom or who are peeking in, you should join the Sapphire Academy. If there are any tuition codes or tuition breaks that's in some of these chats that you see, go ahead and sign in there, and you can get the program for whatever that tuition break is. But the program now, if you go on the website and you go to the program, the program is now $400, and you can get all 21 courses in the program for that tuition. I encourage this because you can get access to all of the classes without being on YouTube. You don't have to be on YouTube to access these courses, and you and I will be able to do one-on-one, and I can put you in the right place. You will also have access to the academy, and you will get your own email to get in and out of it. But again, you guys just kind of stay on the right track, okay? These classes will be closed. I'm going to make the classes private, and I won't do it yet. We're just trying to get through this class. So those of you who are looking at the classes, make sure that you get what you need to get out of those classes while those classes are live. And getting in on the live classes is the best thing, because after the live, I've got to shut the classes down. Then they go into the Sapphire Academy. So all of them that you see there, they will be shut down, because this class is not based on the views and stuff like that. We want to get the views and stuff XYZ, but I have to put the classes in the academy, and then they have to be private. So just remember, join the Sapphire Academy at sapphirecoding.com. Go in there and then click the bookstore, click more courses, XYZ. You will get access to that. So if you guys go into any of the other chats and you click on that, you see some of those chats where we did have the tuition at $59.99. Just let me know, okay? Go ahead and go in there and say, Miss Lambert, I saw XYZ on so and so. Then I'll just have to backtrack and see what that tuition code was. But right now the tuition is $400 to do the Sapphire Academy on the advanced coding. Okay, so good luck to you guys. This one will be closed. I just haven't closed it yet, but we will close this, and this goes into the Sapphire Academy. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. We're going to stop the streaming, and hopefully it's better next time as far as me showing you stuff. Okay, so don't forget, you guys are doing chapter 1, 2, 3, 4 up to the endocrine system. That's what you're doing. Make sure you have your index cards. Make sure you write down everything you need to write down. Okay.